What is up? Alright, we've got a fun one here today. This is the Ryu Crimson Hawk Ranger Power Rangers / Street Fighter Lightning Collection collaboration thing. Rolls right off the tongue. Ryu. I believe the correct pronunciation is Ryu, but most people I know say Ryu, so whichever, I guess. And yeah, basically I am the exact type of mark, the exact type of sucker. And yeah, basically, I am the exact type of mark, the exact type of sucker that they have in mind when they release these sort of super fan servicey crossover collaborations like this. I am a huge sucker for that sort of thing, as you can probably tell from my AEW and Street Fighter collaboration here. I have the Young Bucks as Ken and Ryu, and Kenny Omega as Akuma. I also have an embarrassing number of AEW and Street Fighter t-shirts. And, of course, as always, I have absolutely zero willpower when it comes to buying action figures. So yeah, I am the exact type of mark that they know they can take advantage of when they release these things. And this is a collaboration, obviously, between Power Rangers and Street Fighter. I'm not actually entirely certain where this originates from. I know that Crimson Hawk Ryu was a character in that god-awful Power Rangers fighting game, Battle for the Grid, which is an atrocious game, unfortunately. But I believe there was also some sort of web miniseries crossover between the two, so I'm assuming that's where it originates from. But I'm sure it's primarily just an excuse for some cool merchandise. Yeah, so massive fan of both franchises. I've been on a huge Power Rangers kick lately and have been buying a stupid number of Power Rangers figures. I have them laying around everywhere, as you can see. And I've been a Street Fighter fan for ages. Hell, I played Street Fighter 2 back when it was a brand new arcade game. They had it in the arcade at my local fair when I was a wee lad, and I spent basically an entire day pumping all of my money into it. All the money my parents had given me for food and rides and everything went straight into that Street Fighter cabinet. Playing exclusively as Blanca for some reason. I don't know why. I love Blanca. Still love Blanca. Blanca. Yeah, so big fan of both franchises, so hard for me to pass this up, and yeah, pretty excited to check it out. And not really a whole lot to talk about in terms of packaging. We have some action figure photography on the front here with Ryu doing some martial arts exercises or something on the front. We've got some character art on each side of regular Ryu and Crimson Hawk Ryu. And then on the back, as always, we have some photos of the figure and the accessories. So it looks like Ryu just got done launching a Hadouken at someone. And we've got some energy effects here, including a Hadouken fireball. And I was getting ready to say that's probably for the Shoryuken, but I guess that's actually attached to his foot on the front of the package, so I don't know. I don't recall his hurricane kick causing his feet to burst into flames, but whatever. Maybe my memory's just failing me. So yeah, that's about it in terms of packaging, so let's go ahead and open this dude up, and I will be right back. Alright, and here we have Crimson Hawk Ryu looking pretty badass. So first of all, let's go ahead and do a very quick 360 here. And then let's go ahead and take a closer quick look. I think I said that backwards. A quick closer look here, I should say. Alright, so here we have the helmet looking pretty badass. I really like the design on the helmet. It looks pretty slick. We've got the sort of headband tassels hanging down there. The gold chest piece. We've got some gold detailing on his morphin suit, or whatever you want to call it. Some boxing-esque karate training gloves or something. And then on the belt we have some, oh gosh darn it, hiragana or kanji or gee willikers. You know, I actually took Japanese for 4 years. There was a time when I actually spoke Japanese pretty fluently, and now I can't even remember what these letters are called. That is how much my Japanese knowledge has deteriorated over the years, so that's pretty embarrassing and depressing, but yeah, some sort of Japanese characters on the belt. And we've got his morpher here as the belt buckle. And then one thing that's kind of strange, I'm not sure how well this is actually going to come across on my camera, but his arms and his feet are like a very bright, vibrant shade of white. But then his torso and his legs are a significantly darker off-white, like almost a cream color. And I'm not entirely certain why that is. I don't believe that's intentional. I don't think that's an intentional part of the character design itself. Like in the character art and everything, there's just one uniform shade of white throughout his entire, well, uniform. I I sound so smart sometimes. Jesus. So yeah, I'm not entirely certain why there's a disparity between the two on the actual figure itself. Doesn't seem like it's actually like a different kind of plastic or anything either. So yeah, kind of bizarre, but not a huge deal. It's not super noticeable or anything. I take that back. It's pretty noticeable. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a huge deal. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation here. So arms forward, backward, horizontally up to shoulder height. There's a bicep swivel on the upper arm. Double pin elbows, unfortunately, which not an issue. It's just not my personal preference, but I know a lot of people actually do prefer double pin elbows. Legs, you got double pin on the knees. There's a swivel on the upper leg here. Another swivel on the boot cut. Ankles up, down. Wrists all around. No rotation at the waist. Head up, down, left, right, all around. And then the torso, I'm not really certain what's going on with the torso. It's kind of bizarre. So we have this joint right here, which swivels side to side and forward and backward. Pretty good range of motion in that joint, actually. But then we have this, and a lot of my Power Rangers figures have this, and I'm not entirely certain why or what purpose it serves. It doesn't seem to serve any purpose at all. We have this weird T-shaped joint here on the torso, which doesn't actually seem to do anything. There's not any movement there that I can discern, at least. So yeah, it doesn't seem to actually have any type of function or purpose, and it's pretty ugly, so I'm not entirely certain what the point of it is, but like I said, that's been on a ton of my Power Rangers figures as of late, this weird, random, seemingly pointless T-shaped joint on the torso here, so yeah, I don't know. Not a huge deal or anything. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing, but it's not so much an actual issue as it is just confusing. I just don't really understand why it's there or what purpose it is intended to serve, if any. Alright, and then let's go ahead and take a look at the accessories. So we have these two fists here. We have this Hadouken Fireball, which is actually pretty darn big. It's pretty good size, as you can see, and it's pretty hefty. It's got a decent amount of weight to it, so pretty hefty Hadouken. That's fun. We have this flame, which was attached to his foot on the front of the packaging. Still not entirely certain if that's a specific reference or if they just thought it looked cool, because again, I don't remember Ryu having a move that caused his feet to burst into flames or anything like that, so, but whatever, it looks cool, so, you know. We have this bird-shaped energy effect, which, if I'm being honest, I have no earthly idea what exactly this is or what it is in reference to. Definitely don't recall Ryu having any special moves that caused a bird-shaped energy effect, but, yeah, I don't know. It looks cool, so whatever. I'll take it. And then I really like this. I'm pretty happy that they included this. We have this stand here, which initially came in two pieces. This was two separate pieces. But yeah, really think this is a nice inclusion. So you just put that together, and if you would like to make it look like Ryu is shooting a Hadouken at someone, for example, you can just pop that on there. I'm not actually going to snap it on right now. But yeah, you would just set that on there. Let me go ahead and slide it over away from Ryu. And it would look like he was launching a Hadouken, so pretty cool. I really like that they included that. I actually wish more figures would include stands and things like that for some of the accessories and effects and everything. So yeah, really nice inclusion. Pretty happy about that. So yeah, I guess that's about it. Overall, I think it's a pretty badass figure. I think he looks pretty tough. There is the weird issue with the disparity in color between his legs and torso and his arms and feet, which is a little bizarre, but I don't think it's a huge deal. It's not to me at least. It doesn't help that I have him under a bunch of very bright light right now. It's probably not going to be nearly as noticeable when he's like standing on a shelf somewhere. Or at least I hope not. But even now, even with all that bright light on him, I don't think it's a huge deal. It's not terrible looking or anything. It's just a little bizarre. And same with the weird T-shaped joint on the torso. It's not that it's an issue. It doesn't really detract from the figure. It's not super obvious. It's just a little bizarre. It's just confusing as to why it's even there. But other than that, yeah, I really like the figure. I think he looks really cool. I like the character design. I feel like trying to turn a Street Fighter character into a Power Ranger has the potential to turn out pretty cheesy. But I think they actually did a really good job with this. I think he looks pretty awesome. I really like the character design they did. I definitely think he's the best of the three Street Fighter Power Rangers figures that they have released thus far. I'm not a huge fan of the Cammy Power Ranger figure. I think it's a little bit goofy looking. The Ken, I can't quite decide whether I like it or not. It's a little bit goofy, but I don't know. In any case, I don't think it's nearly as cool as the Ryu figure. So I think he's definitely the best of the three so far. And yeah, I just think that's a pretty cool looking character design. So yeah, if you're a fan of Power Rangers and Street Fighter, I would highly recommend it. I don't think you can go wrong. Again, he's definitely the best of the three that have been made available thus far. I'm not sure if there's going to be more to come or not. So yeah, I don't know. Overall, I think it's a pretty cool figure. I think he looks pretty tough. So yeah, I guess that about does it. Until next time, thank you for watching, and goodbye.